Today, we are diving deep into Samkhya philosophy. It's one of the oldest schools of Indian thought, and honestly, it offers this incredible map of reality. It explains everything, from how the universe came to be to the very root of our own personal suffering. And most importantly, it offers a path to freedom. So let's get into it. Have you ever had that strange feeling, where you feel like you're just watching things happen? Like you're observing your own thoughts, your emotions, your body moving through the world, almost as if you were watching a movie? Well, hold on to that thought, because that exact feeling is the key that unlocks this entire system. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with a fundamental case of mistaken identity, which Samkhya says is the source of all our problems. Then we'll get into the two eternal realities at the heart of the philosophy. We'll see how the entire universe just unfolds from them, explore the path to real freedom, and finally, we'll touch on Samkhya's incredible and lasting legacy. So, let's ask the big question. Why do we suffer? According to Samkhya, it's got nothing to do with bad luck or what's happening on the outside. Nope. The root cause is way, way deeper. It's a profound misunderstanding of who and what we actually are. Think about it. We spend our entire lives identifying with all the constantly changing stuff of our experience. We think, I am my thoughts, I am my feelings, I am this body. But this false identification, this belief that we are the drama playing out on the stage of our lives, well, that's what leads to attachment, to desire, to pain, and the whole messy cycle of suffering. Okay, so if we're not our body or our mind, then what in the world are we? This is where Samkhya just blows the doors open with its brilliant dualistic vision of reality. It proposes that everything, and I mean everything in existence, boils down to two fundamental, totally independent, and eternal principles. First up, there's Purusha. This is pure, unadulterated consciousness itself. The best way to think of it is as the silent witness. It's like you, in a movie theater, watching a film. The movie is full of action and drama and emotion, right? But you, the moviegoer, are separate from it. You're just aware of it. That pure awareness, that witnessing self, that is Purusha. And what's so wild about Purusha is its nature. It is awareness, but it's completely passive. It doesn't do anything. It only observes. It's eternal. It never, ever changes. And here's a critical point. Samkhya says there isn't just one big universal consciousness. Nope. There are countless individual Purushas, one for every single being, and by its very nature, it's completely detached from everything it witnesses. So if Purusha is the conscious witness, what is it witnessing? Well, that would be Prakriti. Prakriti is the other side of the coin. It's the unmanifested, primordial stuff of the universe. It's the raw, dynamic, creative potential from which everything we could ever possibly experience, from a single thought to an entire galaxy, is made. Now, Prakriti isn't just some uniform blob. It's made of three fundamental forces, or qualities, called the Gunas. You've got Sattva, which is all about harmony, light, and knowledge. Then there's Rajas, which is pure activity, energy, and passion. And finally, Tamas, which represents inertia, darkness, and ignorance. Everything in the material world is just a unique, ever-shifting cocktail of these three forces. Before anything happens, the starting point is perfect balance. In its original, unmanifested state, these three gunas exist in a state of perfect equilibrium. They're all holding each other in check. In this state, nothing's been created yet. It's all just pure, untapped potential simmering away. So this is the absolute crucial point, this total distinction. Purusha is conscious, but it's passive. Prakriti is unconscious, but it's active. Purusha is the eternal, unchanging witness. Prakriti is the ever-changing world being witnessed. Getting this separation, really understanding it, is the central pillar of the whole philosophy. Okay, so we've got a passive observer on one side and a field of pure potential on the other. How do we get from that to the complex, buzzing universe we experience every single day? Well, that's the next part of the puzzle, the great cosmic unfolding. The catalyst for everything is simply the presence of Purusha, the witness. Its nearness to Prakriti acts kind of like a magnet, and it disturbs that perfect, quiet equilibrium of the gunas. And that disturbance is what kickstarts the entire process of cosmic evolution.
The passive consciousness of Purusha basically illuminates Prakriti, waking it up and setting its incredible creative power into motion. And this evolution happens in this beautiful logical sequence, moving from the most subtle to the most concrete. The very first thing to manifest is Mahat, the cosmic intellect, or universal intelligence. From that intelligence comes Ahankara, the principle of ego, or I-ness. It's what creates the sense of a separate individual self. Then, from that sense of self, the building blocks of experience emerge, the subtle potentials for sensation, and our senses to perceive them. And only then, at the very end of this chain, do those subtle bits combine to form the gross physical elements we know: ether, air, fire, water, and earth, creating the tangible world all around us. So that's the grand cosmic picture. But Samkhya brings it all right back home, to the individual. How does knowing all this help us with that original problem of suffering? Well, this knowledge isn't just some cool theory. It is the actual map to liberation. The ultimate goal is a state called kaivalya, which literally means isolation or aloneness. It's the state of absolute freedom you achieve when you have this direct, unwavering realization, this discriminative knowledge that you are the Purusha, the witness, and not all the ever-changing stuff of Prakriti. It's finally realizing once and for all that you are the moviegoer, not the movie itself. And this doesn't just happen in a sudden flash. It's a practical step-by-step path. It all begins with Viveka, the constant practice of discriminating between the true self and the non-self. When you really start to see that distinction, it naturally leads to Vairagya, or detachment from the world's ups and downs, because you get that they aren't happening to your true self. And both of these are supported by abhyasa, the consistent, dedicated practice it takes to make this knowledge a stable, lived reality. Now you might be thinking, hey, some of this sounds kind of familiar, and you'd be right. Samkhya's ideas didn't just exist in a vacuum. They have had a profound and lasting impact on spiritual and philosophical thought that is still felt today. In fact, the entire philosophical backbone of classical yoga, especially what's laid out in Patanjali's famous Yoga Sutras, is built directly on the Samkhya model of Purusha and Prakriti. It also heavily influenced other major Indian philosophies like Vedanta. And even now, its rational, systematic approach to understanding consciousness and ending suffering offers incredibly valuable insights for anyone on a path of self-discovery. So let's end with a question that brings this whole philosophy right into this very moment. If it's true, if your essential nature is pure, unchanging awareness, then what are you, as that silent witness, witnessing right now? What thoughts, sounds, or sensations are appearing in your field of awareness? That simple inquiry, that's the beginning of the entire journey.